بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان. صدق الله العظيم. Alhamdulillah, we are very grateful to Almighty Allah for once again allowing us to experience this blessed month of Ramadan. It is a very great blessing of Allah indeed. There were many people who were here last year, they are not here this year, and Allah knows whether we will make it for the next Ramadan. Never mind the next Ramadan, the next tomorrow, maybe the next few seconds. So how do we make the most out of this Ramadan that Allah has given us? Each second, each minute, each moment that Allah has given us, we need to consider it as if it is the last in my life, as if it is the last. I may not get another day of Ramadan again. I may not get this other second of Ramadan again. Only then we will be able to value each and every second of Ramadan. Otherwise, the first few days of Ramadan, mashallah, we will have the passion, the boost, and then it will die down, and then towards the end of Ramadan it will come back up again. This happens when we only do it for Ramadan. But when we do it for Allah, when we do it keeping our akhirah in front of us, our death in front of us, what am I doing? Then these things will not happen. In Ramadan we see ourselves, like today, many of us must have felt that it's very tiring. Taraweeh, long fast, then trying to make it for all your salah in the masjid. The life of a believer is like this all the time. Allah hasn't set the believer in this world to enjoy himself, to relax, to chill out. Allahumma la aisha illa aishul akhirah. The Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he's building Masjid al-Nabawi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He's taking the bricks with the Sahaba. Himself personally is taking the bricks, and he's making dua to Allah. Now imagine the heat of Arabia, and the Prophet of Allah is 53 years old, and he's carrying the bricks himself with the Sahaba, moving the bricks. And that time he's making dua to Allah. Oh Allah, the life of this world is not really a life. The real place to enjoy, the real place to chill, the real place to, relax is the akhirah. So that is the life of a believer. A believer is not in this world, to relax. That is why when a believer will go inside his grave, and the angels will come and ask the questions, Munkar and Nakir. Allah make it easy for one and all. Ma Rabbuk, Ma Dinuk, Man Nabiyyuk. Who is your Lord? What is your deen? Who is this person that was sent to you? And then there will be a fourth question as well. We normally say the three questions of the grave. There will be a fourth question which the angels will ask after he gets all of them right, or either he gets all of them wrong. If he got all of them right, then the angel will ask, how did you learn this? So they said, Allah sent us a prophet, he gave us Quran, and we bought Iman in it. And it is the blessing of this Iman that I know the answer to these. And when a person who will not know these questions, then he will say, nobody came to me, I didn't know anything. So after that, when the angels are about to depart, then they will say, Nam ka nawmatil urus. Go to sleep how a bride goes to sleep. Meaning you've tired yourself in the whole life, obeying Allah, worshipping Allah, trying to make Allah happy. You've tired yourself. This is the time for you to sleep. Now sleep. Now relax. That is why we have seen our elders, our ustads, subhanallah, they barely sleep 3-4 hours a day. That's a fact. They barely just about sleep 3-4 hours a day. And subhanallah, we tell them, Ustad, don't you feel tired? Evening till 11, 12 o'clock you're in class, then in the morning 4 o'clock again you calling the students, then you're here, then you're there, you're here for this, you're here for that program. She said, this place is not the place to sleep. Grave is where we will take all the rest that we need to take. That is the pious people. I'm talking about this day and age. 3 hours. People are sleeping. This topic has just come along, so let me mention a few things, inshallah. Many people, they feel Ramadan is a month to sleep. Okay, we can have our fair share of sleep if we need to, but not more than 7 hours. Not more than 7 hours. Less than 7 hours, you'll feel a bit tired. 7 hours is average. If more than 7 hours, then we will go towards laziness. Ibrahim Nakhai rahmatullah alayhi used to make dua. Who is Ibrahim Nakhai? He is our Imam's Ustad. Imam Abu Hanifa's Ustad Hamad and his Ustad Ibrahim Nakhai. He used to make this dua to Allah. Oh Allah, Allahumma aqlil nawmati wa akthir qawmati. Oh Allah, reduce my sleep and increase my standing in front of you. Yesterday we were doing Taraweeh, and inshallah we'll be doing it throughout the month. Allah accept. Many people, they feel really tired. Okay, my legs are hurting. And then after Taraweeh we look at our feet, it got swollen. This was the case of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam every day. Every day. And I was just listening to, in the company of a pious person recently, he was mentioning those people who are not in the habit of standing in front of Allah, they will find that Taraweeh difficult. Those that are in the habit of performing the Salah regularly, and they are in the habit of performing Tahajjud regularly, they will feel Taraweeh as so easy. They'll enjoy the Taraweeh. Subhanallah, I wish it could be more. I wish Ramadan could be more. Today, or maybe in the first few days when people are not used to it and they feel the fast and they feel the Taraweeh and everything, then may Allah forbid, people will already be counting down. Chalo, it's only a month. After a month we can chill out, and after a month we can relax. No, that shouldn't be the case of a believer. The case of a believer is, the Prophet ﷺ mentions, if my ummah knew what Allah has kept for them in Ramadan, they would never wish for it to finish. They would wish Allah keeps it throughout the year. Every day should be Ramadan. Every day should be like this. Allah give us that iman, that gives us that spirit that will keep us going in Ramadan, not only in Ramadan, even after Ramadan. When the Prophet ﷺ came down from Hira, when the first revelation came and he was given the responsibility, Ya ayyuhal muddathir, qum fa'anzir, wa rabbaka fakabbir, wa thiyabaka fatahhir, wa ghujla fahjur. So Allah is giving direct commands. Do this, don't do this, do this, don't do this. It's like just a list of don'ts and do's and don'ts. So the Prophet ﷺ, when he came home and he said, Oh Khadija, I think my time for sleeping is finished. Wrap my bedding up. My time for sleeping is finished now. Now Allah has given me so many things to do. I don't have time to sleep anymore. The Prophet ﷺ came home one day and he went to sleep on his bedding. His bedding was, subhanallah, leather. It comes in the books of Shama'il. His bedding was leather skin filled with palm leaves. That's it. Today we are talking about memory foam and this mattress and that type of bedding. The bedding of the best of creation. So simple. A woman came to the house of Aisha radiallahu anha one day, and she saw a cloak, like a coat or something on the floor. So she asked Aisha radiallahu anha, what is this? She said, this is the bedding of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She said, this is the bedding? You trying to tell me my Nabi sleeps on this? So she went home, she got that bedding made. She said, I can't see my Prophet sleeping on just a cloak. Let me actually get some proper bedding for him. So she went home, whatever she could make, she got the leather together, and then she put the palm leaves in it, and he said, this should be more comfortable. So that was the bedding of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu said, one day the Prophet of Allah, he woke up from sleeping, and due to the bedding he had, the marks were on his body. The marks of the leaves and all these branches. So he said, O Prophet of Allah, can we not make something more comfortable for you? Shall we not make something more comfortable? لَوْ اتَّخَذْنَا لَكَ وِطَاءً. So the Prophet ﷺ said, مَا لِي وَلِي الدُّنْيَا. What am I to do with this world? I am in this world like a traveler who is traveling, then he wants to take a little bit of a nap, so he goes on under the shade of a tree, takes a bit of a sleep, then moves on. That's what Allah has created me in this world for. Aisha radiallahu anha says that one day I decided that the Prophet of Allah, let me make it a bit more comfortable for him. So I folded the bedding of his 4 times, doubled it. He said, Chalo, the Prophet of Allah, he doesn't want to change his bedding, but it's the same bedding, let me just make it a bit more comfortable for him. So the Prophet ﷺ woke up in the morning and he said, Oh Aisha, what have you done to my bedding? He says, Oh Prophet of Allah, it's the same bedding. All I did was just double the folding, so it becomes a bit more comfortable for you. So the Prophet ﷺ said, Oh Aisha, put it back how it was before. This bedding was stopping me from standing in front of Allah. That is the aim. That is the aim. If a person sleeps 8 hours a day and he lives in this world for 60 years, 20 years of his life he just slept. That is the reality. If a person sleeps 8 hours a day and Allah has given him a life of 60 years, imagine 20 years of his life he's just gone in sleeping. So Allah give us the ability to make our life more productive. We see this Ramadan, mashallah, we are very productive in terms of our akhirah. That is how a Muslim should be all the time. Zindagi guzaro Ramzan ki tarah, maut aayegi Eid ke shan ki tarah. Spend our every day like how we spend Ramadan. Every day. The day of Eid, how much enjoyment we get, Allah will give us even more enjoyment at the time of our death. What is the time of our death? What happens? إِنَّ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا رَبُّنَا اللَّهُ ثُمَّ اسْتَقَامُوا تَتَنَزَّلُ عَلَيْهِمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ. Those people who believe in Allah and then they remain firm on it, they stick to it, not only in Ramadan, not only for these 29-30 days, no, every day they stick to it till death comes to them. Then angels come to receive them at the time of the death. Alayhimul malaika, Allah takhafu, nothing to worry about now. You've done everything you had to do in the world. You've made Allah happy now. For you now is all whatever you want to do, all your wishes, all your desires, all your comforts. وَأَبْشِرُوا بِالْجَنَّةِ الَّتِي كُنْتُمْ تُوعَدُونَ. This is the life of a believer. So Allah, give us the ability to spend this Ramadan better than how we have been spending Ramadan. And let us make a timetable in this Ramadan, what we are going to do, how we are going to, this is my sleeping time, this is my family time, this is my work time, and then this is my Quran time, this is my ibadah time, this is my tilawah time. If we stick to a timetable, then we will see that our Ramadan will become much more productive. But when we don't have a timetable, it's okay, I read Quran whenever I can. Whenever I have time, I read Quran. Whenever I have time, I go to the masjid. I try to get to the masjid a bit early. No. So we need to stick to a time. Then we will realize that we will be able to do much more than when we are not sticking to a time. Inshallah, after Asr Salah, we will not be giving very long talks here. We're just mentioning to you, today is the first day, just like an introduction. After Asr Salah here, we will only be given about 20 minutes average talk every day, inshallah. Okay, because we have less time as well. And then we would like everybody, even doing that, you don't have to listen to the talk. If you think that you want to do your own tilawah, that is the month of Ramadan for. The month of Ramadan is not to listen to talks. We have been listening, the whole year, ulama who have been teaching Quran, Hadith, here as well. We were studying thousands of Hadith this year. Abdullah ibn Mubarak rahmatullahi used to teach Hadith upon Hadith. Ustad of Imam Bukhari rahmatullahi. When he came to Ramadan, everything on one side. So this month is for my Quran. This month is for my Quran. So inshallah, we will do a 20-minute lesson, tafsir of the Quran. We have started Surah Al-Rahman. We have Surah Rahman to finish off. So inshallah, we'll try to finish off Surah Al-Rahman and Surah Al-Waqi'ah and Surah Al-Hadid. And we will try to take lessons from there. Amazing. Quran is amazing, subhanallah. Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu is somebody who was the Imam of Mufassir, all the Mufassirin, the cousin of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He studied the Quran by Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And even after the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he studied the Quran by other Sahaba radiallahu anhum. Just to ask one question regarding one few verses of the Holy Quran, he said, I was following Umar radiallahu anhu for a whole year. Hadith of Bukhari. For 1 year I was following. And then, so he was Arab. He knew Arabic better than all of us put together. But subhanallah, imagine he studied the Quran. He studied the Quran. Then out of his students, we find many students. Ikramah, Mujahid. Mujahid, let me tell you something about Mujahid, rahimahullah. He's a tabi'i, student of Abdullah ibn Abbas. He studied the tafsir of the entire Quran, cover to cover, full. Word for word, with Abdullah ibn Abbas, 30 times. Not only once. Today we just attend a few tafsir lessons here and there, we just read a few tafsir. Alhamdulillah, I've got plenty of knowledge. We attend a few online classes here and there, and alhamdulillah, we feel very content. He studied cover to cover 30 times, full Quran, Arab. He understood the Quran, the words of Quran more than me and you. Subhanallah, this was the connection with the Quran. That is why Imam Bukhari quotes him a lot in his Sahih. وَقَالَ مُجَاهِدْ وَقَالَ مُجَاهِدْ وَقَالَ مُجَاهِدْ. Because Imam Bukhari has got this habit that he always tries to quote those students who have spent the most time with the teachers. So when I go by a teacher, I take a few classes with him, I study with him for a few months or a year. I'm a student of that Shaykh. Okay, that's fine. But have you only studied by him once this book, or have you studied by him many times? Like An-Nama bin Nuri rahmatullahi used to studied the whole of Sahih al-Bukhari by his Ustad Allama Anwar Kashmiri rahmatullahi 10 times. Full 10 times. So this is the introduction I'm giving you to understanding Quran. The month of Ramadan is to read Quran, make a target from now that inshallah we will try to do so much Quran every day. Hazrat Shaykh Rahmatullahi mentions that I see the women folk in my house, despite doing the chores of the house, the domestic works, cooking and cleaning and everything that they need to do, looking after the children and whatever they need to do, despite that, they very easily finish 20 juz of the Holy Quran, 15-20 juz of the Quran. Hazrat Shaykh Zakaria Rahmatullahi is writing this regarding the women folk of his house. Imagine the men. So let us make a target. Imam Shafi Rahmatullahi used to finish one whole Quran every day in Ramadan, full Quran. And in the last 10 nights of Ramadan, one in the day, one in the night, 2 Quran every day. When there is a will, there is a way. If we can take time out for everything else, how can we not take time out for Quran? So month of Ramadan, let us make a target of reading as much Quran as we can. Cut down on everything else. And mashallah, I know many people who have gone out of many groups and many people who have just switched off their phone totally. So look, contact me after Ramadan. No time. This time is for my Quran. And then inshallah, understanding the Quran. So inshallah, in order to understand the Quran, we'll have these lessons after Asr. May Allah give us the ability to benefit, and may Allah give us the ability to make the most out of it, and may Allah give us these moments again and again, and inshallah hope everybody will benefit in every way, and continue coming and make dua to Allah that, oh Allah, like the way you have given me this passion, given me this tawfiq, this ability to come to your house, come to these gatherings in Ramadan, oh Allah, keep me coming. Allah, continue to give me this ability to keep on coming even afterwards. Okay? Let us make Ramadan the starting point of everything, but never to end. This will only end when we reach our grave. inshallah. But may Allah first of all give me the ability, give all of us the ability. Ameen wa sallallahu wa sallam ala rasulina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in.